From what I've observed, that probably means that you grew up in a household with detractors and people who would punish you in various forms when you decided to display your light, when you decided to try to think of something, come up with a new idea, be smart and be the best you could be. Maybe you were in a place where they would physically hurt you or mentally bring you down, whatever. But you hopefully are not there anymore. You can shine. It is okay to be the best version of yourself now. And people need you. Somebody needs to hear what it is that you have to say. Okay. And it makes sense that if you were berated as a child or whatever, that when you would try to evolve now, that it would make you shriek, because you're like, what if you're just trained in that space? But it doesn't have to be that way. Just day by day, make the steps and grow and heal so that you can shine your light for those who need it. Okay? Because there's someone out there who needs to hear from you. There's someone out there whose story can be so impacted by your story. And that version of you who couldn't speak up needs it. That child within you is still there, suffering because they want to shine their light, and now you are the one who is dimming your shine. You are the adult in your life that's holding you back because of the nonsense that you experience. If this is you experienced as a child. But you don't have to stay there. You don't have to be in that situation. You don't have to be your own worst enemy. You can be the person that's rooting for you. I'm rooting for you. Shoot. Okay, I'm rooting for you. We're all rooting for you. You can comment that. I got to put a little tag in there. You can comment, I'm rooting for myself. Because honestly, like, some people have to root for themselves first. First of all, as a bare minimum, all of us have to root for ourselves. Okay? Because I believe, and from my experience, how you treat yourself is the bare standard that you are going to allow other people to treat you. And you set the standard to the world for, this is how I'm presenting, this is how I treat myself, and energetically you are going to attract like situations. So if you want your life to improve and you want your experience to improve, you have to treat yourself better. All the things that you know you should be doing but you're not doing and you beat yourself up about are in your capacity to do those things. You don't have to be that scared child who couldn't dance, or I'm just thinking of this, who couldn't dance at the performance because their parent wouldn't let them be in that performance. You don't have to be that college student who couldn't go to college because their parent wanted them to major in this specific thing, and if they didn't major in it, they wouldn't pay for it. You don't have to be that child anymore. You don't have to be that child who went to college and became a doctor because their parent really, really wanted them to be a doctor and they really hate being a doctor, but they're stuck in being a doctor. You are able, if you're on this app and this video found you, hopefully you are at that point, you're not, but you are able to do those things. You are able to make those incremental changes and just push yourself to do it. Confidence, growth, and personal development takes courage. People that achieve don't think they're not afraid of doing things. It's just courage. That's it. That's the differentiating factor in whether you're going to do something, whether you're going to be or whether you're not. Because the thing that scares me more than anything, more than putting my content out there, more than some embarrassment, more than reading, more than going to the gym, more than taking myself out on dates, more than that kind of thing, is being the same person today, next month, next year, 10 years from now, 20 years from now. I believe in growth and evolution in all ways of life, a well-rounded way of living. So that is the long-term thing. And what we know or what we don't know, we don't know where evolution will take us, but we know where not moving will. And you don't have to feel trapped. You don't have to be in that space. You can decide, you know what, this particular thing did happen. It was unfortunate. I did not like it, whatever. But you don't have to stay there. So just keep in mind that you are perfectly capable of winning. You are perfectly capable of doing all of those things you admire or envy in other people. You are capable of doing that. You're envious of others because you are not giving yourself the freedom to do what it is that you want to do because of the past. Envy comes from a space of inspiration and admiration. So instead of sitting and being envious of someone else for doing something, be loving enough to yourself to say, you know what? I want to do that thing. I'm going to go out and I'm going to try. I want to experience this thing. I'm going to try it. It's my time to shine. And perhaps that person you're envious of, ask them, how did they get to this point? So instead of feeling envy for that person, you can feel inspired and you can know, I can do it too. Someone has made it and done what you wanted to do coming from even more challenging experiences than you have. And if they can do it, you can do it. And it's not to say that it's not going to be challenging. It's not to say that there's not going to be changes. It's not to say that it's going to be super something that you're used to, but the more you do it, the easier it becomes. And you're perfectly capable of doing anything you admire in someone else. And you're perfectly capable of achieving, and doing anything you're envious of someone else for having. It means, though, focusing on yourself, not listening to those thoughts from those people of your past that told you all the reasons why you couldn't do something, because you are capable of doing it. You absolutely can do it. You're worthy. You're valuable. You can do anything you put your mind to. So I would just say, I hope that this inspires you to take action today. And those things that you hear in your mind, like, oh, I should probably do this, but I don't have time. Make time. Even if, like, one thing people always say, we don't have time to work out. You have anytime you sit down in your chair, if you work at an office job or something, do 5 squats before you sit down. You have time to do 5 squats. If you wanna write a book and you don't have time to write a book, you have time to write a page. You have time to write a sentence. I know you might not have time to write a whole page, but you probably do. But you have time to write a sentence. And a sentence a day is a page a month, perhaps, or 2 pages a month. And by the end of the year, you could perhaps, or 2 years, have a book. But you will be a sentence closer if you write that sentence than a sentence away. And then you could say, oh, well, what's a sentence going to do? Well, 1, that's where compound interest comes in to play. Reinvest your dividends. Anyway, that's where compound interest comes in, because the next time you do your sentence for your book, you'll have already 1 sentence. So you'll have 2 when you do your next one. Then you go and then you have 3. So it's not about what that individual action will do right now. It's about what that individual action will amount to down the line. And you know what won't get you to write a book? Not doing it. And then you'll have another reason to feel upset because, oh, well, I knew I couldn't do it anyway. It's because you didn't even try. You didn't even give yourself the space and the grace and the time to try, because you have allowed those people who do not have your best interest to rule your life and to stop you. You have allowed it. So the first thing is to acknowledge that you have allowed those people who wanted to bring you down to stop you and to get in your mind. But who wouldn't in your circumstances? So also have grace with yourself to know that you did the best that you could do. And now, today, you can do even more. You can choose to be courageous. See you later.